Hey everyone, how is everyone doing, huh? On this Sunday, June 14, 2020. Well, a lot of things are going on as we speak. A lot of things have gone on in the past week. I'm pretty sure you guys all, are all, that's what I want to say, are all up to date with the news and all that, right? Nah, let's not fucking go to news. I'm sick and tired of news. I'm pretty sure you all are as well, right? Um, so yeah, I've been pretty busy. I kept myself busy this weekend. Not that I was not busy before, but I did some woodwork. Not really woodwork, but I built uh, a rack from my for my my computer. Uh, I went to fracking. Is that what it is? Fracking Home Depot yesterday. I picked up some stuff to build the computer rack. Home Depot here in Jersey City, and so I picked up some some like 1x2s. One of those wooden what do you call not the planks, but the struts, not the fracking struts are, but like those long pieces, 1x2s. And I went to the sign shop in the back, right, at Home Depot, and then I had them cut and all that, right. And this is what the fuck happens today, right. But in any case, so without jumping from one topic to the other, or without jumping from Saturday to Sunday, right. So let's stick to Saturday for now, sir. So Saturday, yesterday, after my breakfast sandwich, which was kind of like late. So it was my brunch sandwich yesterday, and then from there I went to Home Cheapo and I bought this bunch of things, including like the nuts and bolts to put the computer rack together. I did that. It took me like 3 hours, and as you can see in the back, you can see that what you know piece of art, right? You can see that. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can show you guys. You can see that. Holy moly! Next to my telescope, right? But it was not that strong, and it was not. I mean, I could use it, but it wasn't that sturdy. It wasn't that sturdy, so I went back to Home Depot today, and then I built this one here, as you can see, right? Hold on a second. So I built a custom one. I got these again 1x2 pieces, and then I got these planks, which I cut them into. I had the guy back in the back of the store at Home Depot, cut these into like 9x12s, and then I built it here custom for my surface that I use for work from home, and then the what do you call my extended monitor on the top. So it came out nice. It came out freaking nice. Fracking. Remember fracking, the word from Battlestar Galactica? Obviously, they cannot use the word fucking because that will fuck up their ratings, right? Something like that, sir. And speaking of which, I finished season 1 and 2 of Battlestar Galactica, which I hadn't watched previously because I started from season 3. In any case, so I yeah, that's what I did today. I woke up late. Well, I woke up early and then I went back to sleep, and then I woke up around like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I got my sandwich here from B18 Cafe, and then I went to Home Depot, and just that's what I was doing. I ordered some chicken, by the way, roasted chicken from Edwards Steakhouse. Oh, so this is what the fuck happens today, right? So I'm at fucking Home Depot, right? So I have already, in my freaking, like notes on my iPhone, I had all the pieces written down, what I needed, the size and the number of, like number of these wooden 1x2 pieces, and then, number of the what do you call the rakes, these planks for the rakes, the size and the number of nuts and bolts, as you can see. And then I went in the back to the guy who does this, sawing, at the saw machine. And then, I spent like freaking, I spent like fucking, like half an hour, 40 minutes, like going through all that. And then the guy, he cut the wood for me, all these pieces and, in the sizes I needed. And then I had some nuts and bolts and some of the other, like, those not angles, but angles I used here in this one. But I had those, what do you call, the angles actually that kind of like the aesthetical angles that you use for the freaking shelves. If you're building shelves, right? Like, wall mounted shelves, then you need those angles. So I had to return those with some freaking nuts and bolts, right? So I had my stuff, right? After my sawing and all that, at the saw machine, and I'm at the returns, and my cart is like not even 10 feet from me. I'm at the return because I wanted to return these things that I didn't need, And then I'm there for like fucking 2 minutes, and then I turn around, my fucking shopping cart is gone with all my fucking, the wooden pieces and all that, and I had bought a bunch of other nuts and bolts, with the new sizes for the size of for the thickness of these wooden pieces, because the thickness of these is different from what I built yesterday, the ones that I used yesterday. I'm like, fuck this, where the fuck my cart go? Jesus fucking Christ. So I went to the customer, and then I said, listen, somebody took my cart, and and they were like, oh, what do you have in there? And was it empty? I'm like, no, I had, I showed them the receipt from the sewing machine guy. And then the lady was like, oh, baby, they took it back to the lumber shop, back in the lumber. So I basically, I kind of like, not to run, but I like walk fast, and I go to the lumber shop, and there's nothing there. I'm like, what the fuck? Somebody took it. And then I went back to the front of the Home Depot shop, and then I'm like, and then I'm talking to all these like Home Depot workers, and I'm like, have you seen a cart? I had wood in there, and I had a bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, no, sir, we can't help you. Maybe somebody took it. I'm like, I'm like, fuck this, dude. This is fucking retarded, I'm like, fuck this. And they were like, maybe you want to do it again. I mean, they didn't say maybe you want to do it again. They were like, maybe you want to have your lumber cut again. I'm like, are you telling me that I should spend another fucking like 1 hour, doing all that bullshit? And then I had other stuff in there, and then I was kind of like not screaming, but then they were like, oh, no, sir, we can't help you out with this. We don't know if somebody took it. I'm like, fuck this. Why would somebody take my cart, It wasn't empty. And I'm like, so fucking frustrated. I'm like, going from aisle to aisle, It's like, fuck this, dude. And I got really frustrated. I got kind of screaming and all that. Not really, but I'm like, where's my fucking cart and all that, And then I'm at the, I'm walking around like a freaking maniac, sort of, in the Home Depot, trying to see if maybe somebody, just left it in an aisle, and I'm going from fucking aisle to aisle and it's not there. And then I go towards the checkout and I see a lady, right? I see a lady, and then I look at her cart, right? And she's about to fucking leave the fucking shop, right? Home Cheapo store, right? And I see my stuff in her cart, and on top of that, she has this bunch of like fucking boxes, right? These Home Depot like moving boxes. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. I go to her. I'm like, that's my cart. Did you just pick it up? Yeah, that's my stuff, And she's like, where did you get this? And she's like, it was just sitting there, so I took it. Are you kidding me? And I got really worked up. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I had my stuff in there. Did you just take it? And then the customer guy, he came to me, customer service guy, and he was like, sir, it's not a big deal, And then, they told her, listen, maybe you want to get another card. There were a lot of fucking cards out there. I don't know why she took my. It's fucking retarded, That was so fucking retarded that this lady did that. And I'm like fucking screaming, and I'm like, the guy was like, sir, it's not a big deal, she's getting another card, and you can take her stuff. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I mean, you told me that I should get my lumber again, have it cut, and spend another hour and a half. I'm like, I'm screaming, and the guy is like, I'm like, fuck this. You know what? Just tell me where my checkout line is. And then, so he's like, this is a fucking long checkout line, but luckily, they open a few other registers at the return. I'm like, fuck this, I was so fucking frustrated. So that's the bullshit I had to deal with. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, where's my cart? I was fucking screaming. And maybe I shouldn't have screamed, but what do you do in that, like, my cart, and I've been at the return, right, for 2 minutes. My cart is like, I just didn't want to have it like, next to me, because they were, it's Sunday, a lot of people in there, a lot of carts going, back and forth, and it's next to the fucking exit. So I left it, like away from like, people in the walkway and all that bullshit, right? And then it's fucking gone, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sorry. I guess that was my rant on that one. But in any case, so I came home, and then, that was after I had my sandwich, and then I built this. I mean, it turned out nice. Now, what I actually did order was, I need some wheels, like, just so, because it's in the middle of the couch, I mean, not in the middle of the couch, but it's where I have my coffee table, right? Not that I drink coffee, but my coffee table, right? And then, but it's in the way of the coffee table. So I want to make it like a mobile, what do you call mobile? Is that what you say? Mobile, kind of like a computer rack, And, but I made it custom, so it turned out really nice. So, after all that fucking screaming at the fucking, Home Cheapo, all that basically paid it well, I think, and then my hard work, So, it's nice to actually have, have the, the bigger screen, and then my Microsoft Surface, and it's better than what I had on the left side, actually, towards the window in the living room, because it was kind of fucking cramping, it's like crampy, everything is in like underneath the freaking, the legs and the feet of that freaking, that what do you call the tray table? It's not, it wasn't like a tray table, one of those, So, so yeah, this is actually much better. And so I ordered those wheels, casters or wheels, whatever you call them, from Amazon, $16. You can't fucking go wrong with those, right? All right, so that was my rant on that one. So, how is everyone doing, huh? So, I'm assuming that everything is sort of normal. Well, somehow, somewhat normal, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, besides that, I wasn't really working today, basically, I just took it easy, I was watching I was watching shows. I finished Battlestar Galactica yesterday, season 1 and 2. Fucking amazing show, obviously, all you fans out there. And then today, actually, I started watching the Stargate, Stargate, what is it, Atlantis, sorry, not Atlantic, Atlantis, Stargate Atlantis. That's another, I think, space opera, one of those Canadian American shows. But Battlestar Galactica, that's a fucking amazing show. Without being a mouthpiece from them, not from them, sorry, for them. If you guys are into those kind of shows, yeah, there you go. I got a few items in my cheat sheet. Oh, also, I watched the great movie. Although great movie by Bill Burr and the main character, what's his name, Pete Davidson, King of Staten Island, which actually opened Friday night. I watched half of it on Friday night. And so this is what I have to say. I think this is what Joe Rogan, he had Bill Burr on his podcast, and they were trying to promote it. And this is what I think is the new norm when it comes to like, all these, movies, box office hits. Is that what it is? Big box office hits now that people can't go to cinemas or theaters, although I think some states and cities have open cinemas, but I'm hearing that they're only open with 25% capacity, which is like what basically you're going to lose a fucking ton of money if you're a theater, right? So same thing. So box office is not going to be like what it used to be, let's say 6 months ago, right? Even like 4 months ago. So what they were doing and what they have done is that they have actually had it open Friday night, I think, all over for rent, including Amazon. You can rent it, Infinity, Xfinity, you name it, HBO, all over the fucking place, right? So I think that's the new norm for these, like, filmmakers or, producers, whoever are associated with, like, big box office movies, right? So I think they're going to they're going to open, like, like the opening. Instead of, I think they're going to have, I shouldn't say instead of, but they're going to have simultaneously. They're going to have it open, like an opening night in the theaters with 25% capacity, as well as all over the internet, right? Except for maybe Netflix. Don't quote me on that one, because this is what these guys were talking about. I think I kind of know what they were saying is that eventually it'd go to Netflix, but, they want to have like an opening night and see what the online box office. So I think that's the word I want to use, online box office. Or if it becomes a hit at the online box office, right? Through all these online platforms. So maybe that's the new norm, after this pandemic and all that, right? So yeah, that was a fucking great movie, and then I finished it last night, and I'm not here to promote, any movies, any particular movies, but it's kind of weird, also that now really not a lot of movies are coming out because of the, obvious reason of this fracking pandemic. Is that what it is? So and it's the same for the fucking shows, So I was joking with my girlfriend because she was over last Thursday, and we were watching, what the fuck we were watching? Oh, we were watching Birdman, by the way. Birdman with fucking, what's his name? Zach, whatever the fuck his name is, right? I can't even say his last name. It's a Greek fucking name, last name. One of those like like difficult ones. Zen, whatever. Okay, but then Michael Keaton was there, and all these other Emma Stone, Birdman, But in any case, so I was joking with her, hey baby, so uh, uh, so I guess that's the new norm, that we are. What the fuck I was trying to say? What was the joke? I guess I forgot. But in any case, so what the fuck I was talking about? I was talking about the oh yeah, the cinema, right? Cinema, and then I was talking about talking with my girlfriend. So shit, I lost that thread. I'm sorry. But in any case, oh yeah, so King of Staten Island, and then oh yeah, the Jesus fucking Christ, am I fucking losing my mind? But in any case, so I'll get to that when I pick it up right during the podcast, and so I feel better after building this freaking my computer rig. I wanted to do this for a long time. I was actually looking online on Amazon and all that, right? But I couldn't really find anything that would suit my needs. Everything is like freaking. You either get one of those like Vivo, like table stands, which I have at my work. But I don't have a table here, so I didn't want to fucking do that. So I built this. Am I going to fucking turn my podcast into like talk about this computer rig that I built? No. So let's switch the topics, everyone. So how's everyone doing? Are the riots still happening? Huh? How about that freaking taken over by freaking what Trump's called it Antifa, takeover of some part of freaking Seattle, Washington? Is that what it is? I have no fucking idea. Seattle, Washington, all those fucking northwestern cities and states, those are so freaking like liberal to a point where they're so freaking like out of their fucking mind that it's almost like like quite the contrary to like a libertarian. But like we don't want anybody taking our, we don't any cops, we don't any, I don't fucking know, dude, without getting any political, but it's all fucking, it's just that I would never want to go to like freaking like, I would never fucking want to live in those states, to be honest with you. No, I would not. It's just too fucking to the left of the freaking spectrum, as much as freaking right is. And, especially when these youngsters who have no fucking clue about their lives, when they show up in their districts where the blocks with guns, then there's something fucking wrong, whether regardless of what fucking Trump says, you gotta fucking believe that there's something fucking wrong with our fucking society, especially in those freaking states, right? But in any case, so without ranting on that one, let's talk about something else. Again, positive things. Things are opening, good things. And I got to get a fucking haircut. Hopefully next week, not this week, but next week. And we're getting busier with work, which is a pretty good thing. We'd like to see some checks, sir, this week. We got to pay the frickin' rent. Frackin' rent. Got to pay the frackin' bills, right? Frackin' bills, frackin' rent, whatever the fuck it is, right? All right, so I'm also watching Wheels on Deals. Deal on Wheels, is that what it is? This is like one of those like freaking shows about cars. Oh, by the way, so I did watch Jay Leno's, Leno's, show on NBC, which actually you can see on YouTube TV. His show is also on cars. Let me see if I can find it. What's the name of Jay Leno's show? Sorry, hold on a second. If I can bring this freaking screen to work. Jesus fucking Christ. Hold on a second, everyone. Let me turn off the casting because I'm casting this computer to my living room. What do you call? Wheeler Deeds. So Jay Leno's Garage, right? Jay Leno's Garage. So I watched it. That's fucking great show. You can watch it on YouTube TV. So that was a fucking great show. You know, I'm into those like old SUVs. You know, like FJ40. You know, one of those Toyotas and Jeeps. You know, Wranglers and all those, right? Willys and all those. I think eventually, if I move to like one of those mountain states, let's say Colorado. I think I'm going to get one of those like SUVs, maybe a Jeep or one of those older models, you know, with newer controls and newer whatever the fuck you call them, right? But those are fucking expensive, so if I can afford, right? If I can afford, so I'm into those fucking, you know, like old like cars, SUVs, old ones, because I grew up with them in mountains, you know. But being in Jersey City and, you know, given that I still drive to Manhattan once in a blue moon, at least like twice a week, sir. Not once in a blue moon, you know, check my mail and all that. Although I have to make a deal with my landlord over in freaking financial district. I haven't still heard from them. They were supposed to give me a deal on finding me a smaller office space downstairs, so I guess that hasn't happened. I'm still waiting. I think I'll follow up this week, as I should, right? Yes, sir, you should. And yeah, so things are opening. So I mean, you know, without freaking repeating myself, but somehow things are getting normal, becoming normal. And I presume that they have more shows for me because I'm running out of freaking shows to watch, right? I'm pretty sure you all are feeling the same. I mean, you know, I work, again, I guess I'm fucking repeating myself, but I guess I am. I work, you know, from my Jersey City office. But still, you know, and I work from home as well, and during my free time, you know, downtime, you know, is that what it is? Is that the word I want to use, downtime? You know, I like to watch shows and movies and all that. So, sorry, I'm just casting this back to my living room TV. So this is the new normal. So I guess you guys will have to bear with it, just like everybody else, right? Whether it's movies or whatever it is. So I think things are kind of quiet now, which is a good thing. Hopefully, you know, we come out of this and we also come out of the freaking recession, right? What's the number of unemployment? What's the percentage of unemployment these days, huh? I have no freaking idea. But I'm pretty sure it's still pretty high because I know that my office manager she's still, although she works for under 20 hours a week for me, but she's still on unemployment benefits. So I'm pretty sure many of you all are as well. And hopefully, you know, you get to get back to work and economy is back on track and you know. Although I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with New York City's transit. I mean, you know, the subway are people are going to be like on each other's freaking like faces. Is that what it is? I don't think so. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen, but I don't take the freaking subway. I did take the freaking fracking. Is that the word I want to use again? Fracking path train from here from Exchange because somehow I locked myself out last week. That was a fucking disaster. Although it was not a real disaster. I basically locked myself out. I was trying to like park my car in the parking garage here in my building, and then I realized I locked the door with two of my car keys and the apartment, fobs and all that, right? I'm like, fuck this. And then I knew that I had a third key, car key somewhere, whether in my apartment, Jersey City office, or Manhattan office. So first I checked here, and then in my apartment, obviously it wasn't here. Checked my Jersey City office, it wasn't there. So then I went to my Manhattan office, and it was there. So then, basically I unlocked the car and all that. So now what I do is, this is something that you guys should also do, that I had three, I don't have a fob for the car, to open the door and all that, unfortunately. But, it's all keys. So I have three keys. Obviously, one I use with all my other keys and fobs for my apartment and the building. And then one of the other keys, now I keep it in my apartment here, one of the other car keys. And then the third car key, I left it in my Jersey City office, And then I also have the keys from my Jersey City office here. And then, vice versa, right? Just in case let's say if I leave my car locked, if I lock myself out of my car, and even with my, my apartment keys and all that, fobs and all that, right? Then I can just go to my Jersey City office, pick up my, car key and blah, 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 right? Okay, I don't want to go through the whole, routine, but you get my point, right? So you have, multiple locations so you have means to get into your car, right? Or to your apartment. Same thing, right? All right, so it's already 31 minutes, everyone, 56 seconds. I presume you all are having a great weekend, despite all the craziness out there with pandemic and all the other stuff that's going on, right? Again, I'm sorry that I kind of screamed in Home Depot, Home Cheapo, but I guess, what would you do? It was kind of frustrating for me. This fucking lady, took my fucking cart, with the stuff in there. What do you do? I was at a point where I was like, what the fuck should I do? Should I just go back and start all over, spend another fucking hour and a half, In any case, so that's my rant. So let's just not rant on that one, sir. So let's just get into our cheat sheet. How about that? Because Sunday night and tomorrow is a work day, and I don't want to go on and on, right? So I got some topics in my cheat sheet I want to talk about, so let's just get into our cheat sheet, right? So I have this list, right, for computer rec. I have like two 33-inch longs, two 36-inch long, those 1x2s, 224. Although I had to do like some cross braces, to make it more like more sturdy, do some cross bracings, one or two. If you guys remember, if you're into engineering, from your basic engineering, like mechanics, right? All right, everyone, without getting into engineering mechanics, my next podcast, for the next podcast, that's usually my headline in my iPhone notes, right? All right, so who was talking about this? Okay, so Joe Rogan, my first topic, this is what I want to talk about, is this is something that Joe Rogan and his guest, who was the guest at that time, I was listening to them. Oh, Andrew Schulz, he's a comedian. So they were talking about it, and I was actually thinking about this before, and somebody else actually had mentioned this. All these protests, right, with that unfortunate death of that African American gentleman, what's his name, Floyd, right, and that freaking goddamn cop who actually, without being political and all that, and that resulted in the death of that poor guy, and then all the protests happened with like, protesters. I mean, obviously, I'm not with those fucking rioters and looters. That was a fucking disaster. But peaceful protesters, and many of them, like obviously next to each other, walking on the road or on the streets. Sometimes up to like 50,000 of them, right? So even here in Jersey City, I was telling you guys, they were like at least like few thousand of them, and so there's no spike, there's no freaking spike of coronavirus, right? So is that something that nobody mentions now? That after all these protests and all these people mingling and all that, right, together, although they had masks and all that, right? That actually there's no spike. That means that coronavirus actually just it's over. Is that what it is? COVID fucking 19 is over, and 50,000 people together, marching together, and no spikes. Does that also mean that this was some sort of a hoax? No, I don't think that was a hoax. I don't believe in that conspiracy theory. Coronavirus was real, but I think these protests luckily happened towards the end, towards like towards the flattening, or even like beyond flattening of the curve, peaking curve of coronavirus. So that's why I think we don't see any spikes. It's like huge spikes because of these protesters, right? So that was kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure you all are wondering about that too, right? Are you all wondering about that, huh? Yeah, it's interesting that no spikes, no freaking spikes, right? So, I mean, unusual spikes. That's what I wanted to say. All right, everyone. So hopefully, we don't hear like in a week, oh, by the way, half of the freaking protesters died because of coronavirus. Nah, that's not even a good joke. I don't think that's the case, and I don't think that would be the case. Nobody should die because of this freaking fucking COVID-19, right? All right, everyone. My next topic is Cristobal. So what the fuck is Cristobal, sir? Cristobal. Is that how you spell it? Cristobal. Cristobal. So what the fuck is Cristobal? Why do I have this in my freaking cheat sheet, huh? Fracking. Oh, I know what Cristobal is. Cristobal. Okay, so tropical storm Cristobal, right? Oh, so Cristobal is a hurricane. Apparently, it's one of the first hurricanes, as you know. So it's the third one. So I don't want to go on this news, but looks like it has actually it has got some real heavy rain. It has got some real heavy rain. I'm pretty sure we'll know tomorrow in the news. Cristobal is one of those hurricanes down in the Gulf, right? So apparently it has a heavy landfall. It made a landfall in Louisiana. It made a landfall in Louisiana, bringing heavy rainfall. Heavy rainfall. Making a landfall in Louisiana, bringing heavy rain. That's what I wanted to say, right? So I can see Hard Rock Cafe. I can see a lot of roads underwater. So that was my take on Cristobal. So Cristobal was a hurricane. So looks like, well, wait a minute. But this is from freaking 6 days ago. So what the fuck, dude? Let me go back. So 3 days ago. So is that going to affect us up here in Northeast? Let me see. The Guardian. Looks like it's moving towards inland, towards like Midwest. Is that what it is? I think so. I hope so, right? We don't want any freaking hurricane up here in Northeast, although this is like the beginning of the freaking hurricane season. Is that what it is? Maybe it is. Not that maybe it is, but yes, it is, sir. what the hell's going on with my wheels on, what the hell it was, right? All right, so that was my take on Cristobal. That was the third hurricane, I believe, major hurricane down in the Gulf, right? All you people down there, I told you, I've been telling you for a long freaking time that you should move from living the eye of the fucking storm. You know, why would you want to fucking do that? I guess. Sorry, we don't have anywhere else to go. Well, I'm pretty sure you do. But why would you suffer for the rest of your fucking life, for generations to come, right? Being in the eye of the fucking storm, right? All right, so my next topic is I know that much is true. Actually, I was watching that show with, what's his name, Mark Ruffalo. And that's a fucking great show. But then he went into like his, I guess, without any spoiler alerts, he went into like his mom's, like some sort of memoir she had written in Italian that he had it translated into English. And then, you know, he went into like his father's, you know, time and all that, you know, coming from Italy and all that. So I'm like, sounds like fucking Godfather story to me. So I'm like, All right, so, but that's a fucking great show on HBO if you guys are into that. Oh, by the way, so I also watched, what's his name? Listened and watched Bill Maher's show, his show on HBO, you know, Real Time with Bill Maher. All these, like, talk show hosts, I think they are the ones who actually have suffered as much as everybody else has. Restaurants, you know, movie theaters, and all these talk show hosts, because especially ones with audience, obviously, right? So that's why you don't want to have a freaking audience, right? Fracking audience, fucking audience. You don't want to have an audience. Just do it from Zoom, right? Or do it like a podcast, just like everybody else is doing these days, right? YouTube or whatever the hell it is, right? All right, so that's a great show. If you guys are into that, I highly recommend. And then, Bill Burr's F is for Family. 4th season actually started. I think he was talking about that. I think. And hopefully, you know, after this pandemic is over, hopefully it's going to be a nice summer. And I can't wait to fucking, like, take a break from, like, you know, I don't want to say New York and New Jersey, but you know, where I can take a plane and just like stay somewhere nicer. I mean, it's nice here, you know, where I live. It's pretty nice, you know. Not a lot of people. It's pretty quiet and then pretty like clean and all that, you know. Compared to what Brooklyn. Well, some parts of Brooklyn, obviously. Without stereotyping Brooklynites, right? Well, I guess I did. I used to be a Brooklynite, so there you go. And what I meant to say was, again, you know, just like taking a plane somewhere. But if I can't do it now, I guess I will have to do that. I'll wait a couple of more months and just go on my regular vacation to Colorado. Is that what it is? I guess, sir. Okay, so my next topic, everyone. It's so my next topic is so Thursday, right? So Thursday, was that freaking Thursday? Yeah, so that was freaking Thursday. Was that Thursday? No, last Sunday actually, I think. Last Sunday, because Thursday I was working actually, the whole week I was working, and then Sunday actually I'm like, Saturday morning actually, you know, I told you guys am I fucking repeating myself? I hope not. But in any case, so I had my bed like facing this way, you know, with the headboard, you know, towards the back of my like bedroom, right? But then I realized that freaking, like I told you guys in one of my previous podcasts that, you know, early morning, like especially like in summer, right? Now it's like the fucking beginning of the freaking summer, right? The sheer sunlight is so like bright that it was like I couldn't freaking sleep. So I basically reconfigured my bedroom. I basically rotated my bed like freaking 90 degrees, So now my bed is facing this way, right, instead of the main window in the living room. And then I basically, reattach the TV in my bedroom to this wall, using those like, anchors for the drywall. And then basically I did that whole thing, with the wall mount for the TV. So now I can basically sleep in peace, It's pretty quiet, and also now, it's the sun is not a freaking, as much as an annoyance it was. So I did that last Sunday, and then my girlfriend was over, and then she helped me with some of the other stuff. Oh yeah, she also helped me doing all the freaking dishes, and I thanked her because my dishes had been sitting, although I had the dishwasher. I told her, baby, listen, let's just put them in the dishwasher. And she was like, yeah, I'm just going to do it. And, that was nice of her. So she did that. And so that was like a hell of a freaking, I mean, it wasn't a big deal for me to like reconfigure the bedroom and all that, right? But it took me like freaking like few hours to do this computer rig. In any case, without ranting on that one again. My last topic, everyone. What's my last topic? So, my last topic is kind of unusual. I read an article, I think on CNN. So, women's eggs, and the topic is women's eggs choose sperm. So, I mean, I'm not a gynecologist or a doctor, or, I'm not an expert on this, but when you have intercourse with your woman or whatever, right, with your wife and whatever, then you think that the sperm gets into, her ovary, and then, the eggs, it basically penetrates the eggs and all that. But the eggs actually choose the sperm, First of all, it's very hard for sperms to go through all that, because it's like a freaking, going through going against the flow of a freaking stream full of all kinds of, whatever it is, chemicals in there, right? But apparently, according to the science, the eggs actually allure a sperm that can make it all the way to where the eggs are, and that's how the conception of a newborn happens, right? So that was my topic. I thought that was very interesting. I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming you all found that interesting too, right? Without, implying any of my expertise on that one. I don't have any. But with that, I want to close my podcast. I presume, again, you all are going to have a great start of the week. And things are getting better. So let's keep our hopes high and fingers crossed. And I'll see you all next weekend. Shit. Sorry.